10 men. One promise unlike anything else in history. Paradise, guaranteed while they were still alive, spoken by the prophet's own mouth. And yet, almost all of them met brutal, violent, sometimes bloody ends. How do we explain that men assured of eternal salvation went through hell on earth before getting there? That's the question that's going to haunt us for the next few minutes. Let's start with Abu Bakr, the Prophet's closest friend, the first caliph. Unlike the others, he dies peacefully of illness after just 2 years as caliph. A death almost too gentle for what comes next, because after him everything changes. Umar ibn al-Khattab, the man whose mere presence was said to make demons flee, the man who made empires tremble. He gets assassinated during the morning prayer. A Persian slave named Abu Lulu'a stabs him repeatedly in the back while he's leading the prayer, unable to defend himself, unable to even see the blow coming. Umar dies a few days later, forgiving his killer before he goes. Think about it. The most feared man of his era falls from behind, with no honor, no fight. Then comes Uthman ibn Affan, the caliph who compiled the Quran into a single book, the very one millions of Muslims read today. His end is even more terrible. Besieged in his own house for weeks by rebels, he refuses to let blood be shed to defend him. He stays seated, reading the Quran, while armed men climb over his wall. They kill him while he's holding the sacred book in his hands. His blood, it's said, spilling directly onto the pages. A pious caliph, murdered while reading the very text he had preserved for humanity. The tension keeps rising. Ali ibn Abi Talib, cousin and son-in-law of the Prophet, fourth caliph, one of the most learned men in Islam. He too falls to the blade. One morning, on his way to the mosque in Kufa to lead the dawn prayer, a man named Ibn Muljam is waiting for him, a poisoned sword in hand. He strikes Ali on the forehead while he's praying. Ali survives 2 days, just long enough to forgive his killer and give his sons his final advice. For caliphs, 3 assassinations. Pattern starts to emerge. But the story doesn't stop with the caliphs. Talha ibn Ubaidullah, nicknamed the Living Tree, for shielding the Prophet with his own body during battle, taking arrows meant for him to the point of losing the use of one hand. This man, known for his boundless courage, dies at the Battle of the Camel, struck by a stray arrow, even as he was trying to avoid the fight between fellow Muslims altogether. He regrets that battle until his last breath. Beside him that day, Zubair ibn al-Awwam, the Prophet's cousin, one of the very first converts to Islam. He also withdraws from the battlefield, refusing to fight other Muslims. He's followed, caught, and killed after he had already stepped away to pray. A man killed mid-prayer, once again, far from the fight he had chosen to walk away from. The others meet quieter fates, but no less striking. Abd al-Rahman ibn Awf, one of the wealthiest men in Medina, who once gave away entire caravans in charity, dies of old age, mourned by the whole city. Sa'idi ibn Zayd, one of the very first Muslims, also passes peacefully. Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, the first man to ever shoot an arrow for the cause of Islam, dies old, withdrawn from the world, after conquering entire empires. And finally, Abu Ubaidah ibn al-Jarrah, known as the trustworthy one of this community. A respected general, he dies not by sword or betrayal, but swept away by a plague epidemic in Syria, in the middle of a military campaign, surrounded by thousands of his soldiers dying around him. Look at the final picture. 6 of these 10 men die violent deaths, often in the middle of prayer, often betrayed by their own people. The other 4 pass peacefully, but only after a lifetime of war and sacrifice. So the question remains, does the promise of paradise protect you from the violence of this world? Or was the real promise somewhere else entirely, in how each of them faced their own end? Tell me in the comments which of these 10 faiths struck you the most.